we are loading back in here. We are choosing to draw 3 cards. And we have Troll, the One Ring, and Orcish Bowmasters. These are fine. Their Bowmasters can kill my Grief. It's not the end of the world, though. Fine. There's Grief. Each one does lose some life. They'll go to 3. We'll Swamp Cycle our Troll. Get a land. No attacks here. We'll just let them take 2 more here, and all we need to do now is resolve a Bowmasters to win, or pass the turn. Opponent sees that we've got it, and they will give us the game here. Let's take a look at their graveyard and see what we were playing against here. Kind of hard to say what the game plan was from my perspective. Robeland Attendant, I think, is definitely trying to give them some sort of value. I'm not aware of any sort of combo that exists here, so if you know it, let me know. And then Clarion Spirit also kind of just with the go wide strategy. Not really sure if there's any combo here. Might just be some go wide value. But Scam is going to claim another victim here. We are going to go to round 3, I think. 3 or 4, can't really remember. With a pretty good record going on here. I think it'll be round 4. Let's get in there. All right, round 1, let's go. Well, we do have Grief here, and unfortunately we're not able to scam him, or scam it, I guess. But we do have turn 2 Grief hard cast with Dark Ritual. I think that it could be worth just playing straight up here. We can pitch the Insatiable Avarice or our Dark Ritual. I think that if I decide to play a slower game, it could be good to just pitch the Dark Ritual, so I think that's what I'll do. We'll see what opponent has in terms of their first play here. They're on mono white, and now seeing this, I actually can just hardcast a Grief, or I can pitch my Grief and then use Insatiable Avarice to draw later. I think that's going to be the move. So let's go ahead and pitch cast Grief here. We'll evoke exiling a Dark Ritual, and let's take a look at our opponent here. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben is kind of annoying. Strict Proctor is going to be really bad for us, so I think we probably need to take this. And then other than that, it's going to be non-creature spells. Luckily, everything here is a 2-1, so Bowmaster is going to be really, really good here. And then I can probably just discard this Troll of Khazad-dûm. I think it's not too bad if I do that. Unfortunately, Thalia is going to take off... Oh, nice. They're on Vexing Bauble. That's cool. Dark Ritual is here. Vexing Bauble is going to be a pretty hard counter to what we're doing here. They're definitely on a metagame call here, which is fun to see. Obviously, these decks don't come for free, and builds like what my opponent is playing are going to be really good at stopping the free spells. I guess it's worth talking about Vexing Bauble, one of the new cards from these recent sets. Makes it so that you need to be paying mana for what you're casting, otherwise you're not going to be able to cast it. I'm probably playing Bowmasters here, and then the following turn is probably going to be Insatiable Avarice, so let's do that. We have multiple ways to counter the pitch elementals here. We have ETB Hate with Strict Proctor, we have Vexing Bauble here, countering our free spells. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. We'll just have a Bowmasters here to say no to this. So Bowmaster is going to take out Thalia here. We will get in for 2 next turn. And I think we're going to move the turn here. We have Reanimate on Grief, which is good. That does not get countered by Vexing Bauble, which is nice. Now the question is, what am I taking here? Vryn Wingmare is not terrible. None of these are really bad for me, honestly. So it may just be that I take the Troll instead and use this. So we'll go Reanimate here. I will take some damage for my Troll. I don't think I need to hit the hand here. I just want to deal some damage. And then we'll go Dark Ritual, Insatiable Avarice here. Go to 11. And opponent says they're out of here. They did have the tech for this matchup. Unfortunately for them, I was able to make it through. So good round 1 and a very good state of the metagame here. As you get a metagame where there is a large focus towards a specific style of deck, in things like Legacy, that was always Delver up until recently, and it looks like in Timeless we may have a lot of focus towards these black-based scam decks. This is going to open the door for a lot of these meta call plays in order to be very, very good for people. So Definitely, if we start moving towards that direction, you'll see me on a build like this. And if not, well, maybe we'll see where this whole archetype lands. But with that being said, that was a good start in round 1. Got to do the grief thing. Unfortunately, didn't get to scam, but we have 4 more tries at that. So I'll see you in round 2 here, and we'll continue on. Here we go. This opener has Reanimate. If we can discard a Shieldred for whatever reason, that Reanimate will be nice. This does lean very heavily on our Shieldred and Bowmaster's game plan, which did do well for us last game, but I'm looking for something different. We did find what we want. This is going to be a turn 1 scam. We'll drop the Malakir Rebirth, and then I think that we'd like to do the Wicked roll. It is slightly better and gives your grief some extra stats, so I think that the Malakir Rebirth going away is fine. Alright, and we'll just use the second Rebirth for some life. Ancient Ziggurat here. This will be a delighted halfling. We're going to make sure to hold some priority here, and we actually are set up for a turn 2 Shieldred as well, which is just absolutely great. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to pitch cast a grief. We're going to exile the Malakir Rebirth. Resolves. On ETB, we're casting... Oh, I got to target first. Submit 1. And then not that after all here, targeting my grief. Alright, here we go. So they have to discard something. Clarion Spirit, kind of annoying. Bowmaster's also kind of annoying. I think that I'm a little bit more okay with the Bowmaster stick around, though we will take 1. We get our grief back. We're going to take them again. I think we take the Clarion Spirit here. That's just a bit more stats. So I think they go Bowmasters here. They would probably be trying to go for a trade with this grief. Let's go ahead and attack in, see how many things they want to put in front of it. Alright, looks like we are allowed to have this. I think what we'll do then is Dark Ritual into Shieldred. And yeah, this is going to be tough for my opponent to deal with. Last card in hand is something that we don't mind if it gets discarded. Opponent goes to 14 here. They have Bowmasters. They don't have a lot. And now we are in top deck mode as well. Hopefully we'll be able to draw a little bit better than them. If this takes a long time, Shieldred will gain us some life. Ropeline Attendant is a new one. When it enters the battlefield, make a citizen. Alright. I think that we would like to Swamp Cycle here, discard this, trade it in for a swamp, and then next turn we can Insatiable Avarice, gain some life. They can't cast us Bowmasters. We know that their hand is what it is. They can double trade for Grief, which I would be okay with having happen. They go to 6, they'll go to 4 in their upkeep here. Bowmasters will make a 1-1. I'm surprised this wasn't used to block the Grief. They are wide. It's going to kind of come down to, can they kill me from this position with some combo? No attacks. We are looking to hit their hand if it's possible. It's not going to be here. I can Insatiable Avarice and get a Grief, but actually they show us that they really only have Cavern of Souls, so we're just going to draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards has unfortunately killed my game, so it looks like we'll have to restart and get right back. I'll pause the recording and pick it up once the game's restarted. Round 4, here we go. Reanimate, not dead after all. We're very, very close to being able to do something cool. What we do have is Troll of Cause of Doom very early, and if we find a land, which we will be able to on turn 2, we will have Dark Rit Shieldred. Okay, cool. I'll keep the 7. Hopefully opponent doesn't have anything early. We see Swamp. Could be Scam. Hopefully not a Scam coming turn 1. This is nice. We actually just naturally draw a land, which is good. We'll go Troll here, Swamp Cycle. And that'll happen. Cool. Well, we're going to pass here with shields down a little bit. We have a bit of an okay start coming up. I think we want to get this troll out. We want them to spend their removal on it. This is fine. We're actually just doing that main phase, surprisingly. So this is definitely getting played. The question is, do I Shieldred now? I actually have backup Shieldred now, which is good, and this Reanimate may end up needing to take a Shieldred back anyway, so we'll do this. This is Shieldred. If she survives the turn, we have Not Dead After All to protect her, which is not the scam that we initially signed up for today, but it is going to be a good one. Opponent goes to 18. Do they have targeted removal turn 3? They're just going to get a Yorion to blink this Bowmasters. Sure. So we'll gain some life here, go to 21. I think that it's not worth reanimating right now. Unless it is. I think it actually might be worth it. The thought line is Insatiable Avarice. If we cast it for either mode, we're going to be tapped out and cannot hold up Not Dead After All. So I think I just go for the reanimate here. We're good on mana currently. And this troll is going to be nice. We attack, we hold Not Dead After All up, and we say, your turn. Both of these creatures will survive Insatiable Avarice with the triple ping from Bowmasters. And they go Priest of Forgotten Gods, sure. We have to avoid giving them any sort of creature here. This is a very interesting mono black angle that we're seeing. Things get awkward if I draw a card here at any point. Let's swing in and see how much damage they're looking to take. They'll actually just go down 10. Kind of a surprise here. I've got sorcery speed stuff. I can Insatiable Avarice here and pick up a Grief, I think. That might be the move. So we're going to set up our next draw here to be Grief. And we'll end turn here holding up Not Dead After All. Opponent goes to 4. We're kind of expecting them to have some way of getting Priest activations on. And looks like they weren't able to do it. Our decision to not cast Sign in Blood or Insatiable Avarice for the draw side seems to have worked out for us. Pretty good round 4 here. The scam of the century was in fact the Shieldred and not even the Grief. We have 2 really strong 4 drops that Not Dead After All and Reanimate work pretty well with. So different way to win. This is definitely just showing the power of Mono Black and Timeless. But we'll have one final round here, hoping to get one big scam off to send off this deck. So let's hop into round 5 and see what we can do. Okay, here we go, round 2. 2 cards in the opening hand. I'd kind of prefer a Grief, honestly. We don't have any way to hit their hand currently, but Bowmasters is kind of nice. Not Dead After All is good once we eventually find something. I think I'll keep the 7. It's not the end of the world. Eventually, if we do find a Grief, we do have Surgical Extraction, which is nice. We're going to go Malakir Mire here, and then hopefully get moving from this point. Opponent is on red-black. I am almost wondering if this will be a Grief matchup. It is. We are yet to see. We have Bowmasters to flash in at any point. Looks like if they're on black-red, they may have removal for it, but it's fine. We'll try to hold things here and maybe catch out something. Going to be a Kroxa here. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and Bowmasters in response here from them. Kroxa is a thing. That's fine. We have to discard. I think that we get rid of our temporary mana since we don't need it. And they will lose their Kroxa. Might be a similar thing here. I can actually just search for it though, which is kind of nice. We'll pay 2 life here to do that, and I think that is worth it. We do get to look at their whole hand here. This is going to be Troll, Fable, Ritual, Ragavan. So we got to worry about a Ragavan coming down. We'll need to make sure that we have a blocker. Bowmaster will work well. In terms of their library, we do see that this is in fact Fury and Grief. So this is going to be, if not Scam, it's going to be like a mid-range deck. We know that we need to watch out for Ritual. We know that we need to watch out for Reanimate. And we know that we need to watch out for them hitting our hand in a bunch of different ways. It seems like a pretty standard red-black scam thing. And actually, they only ever played the one Kroxa. Fine. We will choose the 1. Cool. So that's gone. Good to know. Now we know what's in their deck. We get to move to our turn here, knowing that we have a Ragavan coming down at some point. Let's put down this Takanuma, and we have Not Dead After All and another Bowmasters come down. This Fable of the Mirror Breaker will be bad. Their Dark Ritual doesn't really get them anything, so we want to be as aggressive as possible here. And we know that they don't currently have an answer for Shieldred. Bloodstained Mire might get them a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I'm going to hope to get a land off the top here. That would be nice. They can Ritual here, and they'll actually still be one off of Troll, so that's fine. It's probably Fable or Ragavan for them. Ragavan and 2 Swamp Cycles could work. Okay, so they decide to go for the Fable, sure. They do get to make their 2/2, it is what it is. I think that we'll go ahead and Bowmasters now, just looking to deal some damage to the face. We would like to be aggressive here, and then I will use my Not Dead After All in my next turn, unless I have a land for Shieldred, which I do. So we're just going to send this guy in here, punish their draw next turn. Will they take this block? They will. They're a little bit scared of their life total. And then we're going to go Shieldred here. If I can make it throughout this turn without... If I can make it through this next turn without them killing my board, we're going to be in a great spot with this Not Dead After All. Will they decide to draw? Each draw is 4 life, which they cannot really afford to do very much. They will actually draw 2. This is a lot of damage. We're going to target you twice. And they will need to have found something. Looks like they did not find what they needed. Probably would have needed to pitch cast a Fury or 2 here in order to wipe my board. Looks like we were able to make it out. So this is going to be the end of round 2. I think we're doing quite okay here. Didn't even need to spend, didn't even need to cast any of our griefs, and we were still able to make it work because of the strength of Orcish Bowmasters and Shieldred. Pretty good one here, and things are nice. Surgical Extraction gave us a lot of information, so feeling good about that inclusion in the deck. That was the end of round 2. Let's go to round 3 now. Alright, it's the last round. Not Dead After All, Reanimate. Unfortunately, not any of the scam components that we want to use with these cards. We're going to mulligan. This is turn 1 Grief Reanimate. This is a hand that we definitely keep. And then I think I want to try to Dark Writ into a Shieldred turn 2. That could be really nice. But I think that I need to pitch one of these cards to Grief. And it's looking like we'll lose out on the Shieldred Dark Ritual plan. I think we'll get rid of Dark Ritual and then see what our draw is and then pitch one of these things to the Shieldred. Sign in Blood. Okay, so I think we go like this. We are going to go Grief here, and then I think we get rid of Sign in Blood. We'll just take some random draws here, and then we will decide if Reanimate is necessary. Looks like we're going to find combo here. Ornithopter of Paradise, Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot, and I mean Mystic Forge is kind of the clear one here for me. I think Aetherflux Reservoir is also worth taking, but for now, I think we're okay. Now, these Ornithopters are kind of effective blockers for our Bowmasters. I don't think we really need to worry about it yet, but the Reanimate on Grief, I think, still will be good. And then the question is, do we take Aetherflux or Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot? I think we're fine giving them 2 0/2s. And I think Aetherflux Reservoir is just the card that we don't want them to have. So we'll start turn 2 with a Hasty Grief. That should be able to get in. They get a Shock here, which is nice. That's essentially giving me an attack turn of Grief. They're not going to be able to block here, and we do find Not Dead After All, which is great. So now we can hold up Bowmasters and that card. We're getting in here. They cannot block even if they wanted to, and we hold up 2 mana going into their turn 3. Ornithopter of Paradise number 2. And a Chromatic Star, sure. We'll go Bowmasters here before their Chromatic Star can be activated. Target them. And we are starting to get into the top deck game plan here. Surgical Extraction on Aetherflux Reservoir might actually be a kill here. We will pay 1 black mana for that, taking out the Aetherflux Reservoir. Let's take a look at this deck. Opponent library has 3 of those. We'll click the 3rd one in a sec. We want to grab this one. Their hand holds Metal Spinners and the Chromatic Star that we didn't know about. And man, that was a way to take round 5 here. Pitch Grief into Reanimate is just nuttily strong. This deck is really showing that we have some force to be reckoned with here when it comes to these pitch elementals. And as you'll see with some of the later videos that I'll be moving out, this is not the only one that we want to watch out for. Fury, another very popular one, is, while not necessarily a card that needs to be played in Timeless due to the prevalence of Orcish Bowmasters, Orcish Bowmasters does stop a lot of these small things that Fury is good against, so you don't really see a lot of the things that makes Fury a good card in this format. But, going to be taking a look at all the different elementals and what kind of builds we have with them. With that being said, that brings us to the end of round 5. We kind of took it in a really quick fashion. All things are looking pretty good with this deck. Great base with the mono black, hoping to eventually branch out into some of the other variants of this deck. If you have one that you want me to take a look at, link deck lists, tell me in the comments, and I'll check things out. That being said, make sure to like and comment. Helps with the algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's about to be a whole new Timeless format with the Modern Horizons 3 cards, and I think that I'm going to enjoy very much. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, whether you're excited about it or not, Scam is here in Timeless. We have the pitch elementals now legal in the format, and today we're going to be taking a look at probably the more popular of all of them, Grief, commonly used in a whole lot of different 2-in-1 colored decks. This card is pretty much just a Thoughtseize, can be cast for free, and the big thing, if you haven't seen it before in other formats, is the concept of Scam, which in this case is going to be playing Grief, which puts a trigger on the stack to both make your opponent discard a card and to have it sacrifice itself due to its evoke mechanic. What we can do is, with this trigger on the stack, is cast something like Not Dead After All, an instant that says until end of turn, target creature control gains. When it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped, and then create a thing that's attached to it. Pretty much just blinking this thing will make it so that it does not sacrifice itself to the evoke cost if you were to cast it for that, since it will be a new instance of the card after the blink. So things like Not Dead After All and our 2 Malakir Rebirths are going to be really good ways of getting double out of our Grief. That's essentially 8 mana worth of creature for just pretty much just 1 mana. 1 mana and a card, which is pretty darn good. This is a hyper-aggressive deck that's going to be able to put you and your opponent into a top deck match, which hopefully we will be able to win. So let's take a look at what this means for us. We have a couple of plans after we take cards from our opponent's hand. Number 1 is we're going to be trying to thin our deck of lands, which we'll do through Troll of Causa Doom, picking out our basic swamps. We're going to be doing things like Sign in Blood and the One Ring in order to kind of draw us into having more cards and hopefully beat our opponent out once we're both hellbent. And we'll be able to do things like reanimate our Grief after it comes back, or our Troll of Causa Doom, to provide not only attacks, but also make it sure that our opponent isn't out of the clear, or isn't back in the clear once the initial Grief resolves. Some other notable cards in the deck, obviously we're running Shieldred the One Ring, which is pretty solid. Dark Ritual helps us accelerate out Grief hardcast and Shieldred hardcast, which are good. Demonic Tutor in this deck, Orcish Bowmaster is very good in mono black. We are running 2 copies of Insatiable Avarice here, as just another way to make us or our opponents draw cards. We can make our opponent take 6 life due to Shieldred if we cast Insatiable Avarice on them, which sometimes ends up in a win. Or for 3 mana, this is just another tutor that finds Grief, another black card, whatever we're needing. Shieldred the One Ring combo is a potential in this build of the deck as well. And then, of course, just reanimate any of these 4 threats: Bowmasters, Grief, Shieldred, Troll, when our opponent finally deals with them. And then finally, I guess Takenuma is also in here. We do get to play some of the new modal dual-faced lands here. Fell the Profane and Fell Mire is our Lightning Bolt land that can also be a Planeswalker or creature removal spell. That is nice. We run Bajuka Bog for the mirror match. We run Castle Lochthwain for card advantage. Phyrexian Tower to sometimes get mana out of our Grief, or to turn our Bowmaster's token into mana. Takanumas get our things back, and Surgical Extraction is another piece of tech for the mirror where we might be able to clip one of our opponent's Griefs, other pitch elementals, or any reanimation targets. So this is going to be Mono Black Scam. This is going to be the basis for what we take a look at in later videos, where we'll be looking at the other kinds of scam that exist. Rakdos, Demir are both pretty popular. Orzhov has seen some play as well in other formats. So we'll be taking a look at all of those and kind of seeing what the timeless version of these decks are going to look like. But for today, we get to take it real easy. We're mono black. We get to absolutely get ahead with Dark Ritual, and hopefully we're going to have some good games. So let's hop into these first matches and see what this deck can do. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to like and comment. Helps with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'll top into round 1 and see what we can do with Mono Black Scam. Hoping to get some Griefs on the battlefield. Let's go.